Gaming has come a long way. In the span of 30 years, we went from pixelated classics to sprawling, massive marvels that were unimaginable back in the day. The scope and fidelity of games today would explode my tiny brain back in elementary school. New gameplay loops and innovative storytelling continue to push the media's boundaries. However, for all of the progress, sometimes it feels that a bit of the magic gaming had when I was younger has been lost, especially in the AAA space. A united vision, genuine exploration, a place to play. Instead, I see a growing focus on live service, monetization, and everything that's not part of the core experience. Progression, battle passes, min-maxing, cosmetics, metagaming. It's not necessarily a bad thing, as studios have to meet market demands and the changing economics surrounding game production, but I sense that there's less attention paid towards actually making the main experience genuinely enjoyable. It used to be so much fun just to mess around in a game world for hours. Secrets were actually secret. We were playing games like kids play with toys, just enjoying the moment. The indie scene has done a tremendous job at continuing to deliver these pure fun moments, but many AAA games have become repetitive slogs that prioritize profit over fun instead of generating profit through fun. One recent title, though, brings back the fun and play in full stride. It's one of the most imaginable titles in recent memory, and of course, I'm talking about Split Fiction. If you haven't heard about Split Fiction, it's a pure co-op game where you and a friend control Zoe and Mio, two upcoming writers trying to get their books published. Their publisher, however, is more interested in using their state-of-the-art technology to steal their creative ideas instead. The two of you get sucked into the machine simulations where you'll jump between the different fictional stories looking for an escape. Mio writes sci-fi and Zoe writes fantasy, so you'll hop between sci-fi and fantasy worlds. Right away, you'll notice that Split Fiction has fantastic game feel. Great controls and physics here. Gameplay-wise, it plays very similarly to It Takes Two. Lots of platforming, asymmetrical mechanics, and a lot of teamwork required. Each level has its own set of abilities for Zoe and Mio, with many creative puzzles and sequences. What I love most about this game is how it keeps you on your toes. Split Fiction isn't concerned with obtuse systems, but wants to surprise you at every corner. One moment you're using laser swords. Next is a homage to Resident Evil 4 on jet skis, riding dragons, captchas, farting pigs. It's so inventive and unafraid to try off-the-wall ideas. There are new locations, new mechanics, new story beats constantly, which keeps the whole experience fresh the whole way through. The constant barrage of new elements does make the experience feel a little bit disjointed at times, but the creativity on display here more than makes up for it. Where so many other games repeat their same gameplay loop tirelessly for hours on end, Split Fiction has been so refreshing in how bold it is in changing things on a dime. That's not to say that the mechanics themselves are half-baked, not at all. These are some of gaming's best co-op designs. Just like It Takes Two, Zoe and Mio have completely different abilities at every moment, with some clever puzzles that require timing and communication. I was frequently impressed at how the abilities mesh together so well to make for unique experiences, like carrying a boat to guide your partner through platforming sections. Another part, Zoe controls the stage itself for Mio to navigate, passing a bomb while dodging obstacles. It's so good. They are not all home run hits, but the amount of great content here is staggering. The one gripe I have is that some of the sections do drag a little and overstay their welcome. That and a little too much platforming throughout makes the pacing occasionally uneven. The best part of the game for me were in the side stories. Across the main adventure are portals to side stories where you play through essentially a short story that has its own set of contained mechanics. These showcase some of the most fun ideas I've seen in recent years. An SSX Tricky style race, playing as pigs, a Harry Potter style town full of Easter eggs. It made me feel like a kid again and how it was so enjoyable just to mess around and spend time in these creative worlds. Like in the Harry Potter town, you can turn into a chair, blow up and bounce around like a balloon, find a secret side path that leads to a Dark Souls bonfire Easter egg. These are all small but wonderful attentions to detail that had me grinning. No grinding, no mechanical outplaying, just messing around, playing, and having a good time. While the gameplay has been fantastic for me, the story isn't quite as strong. It's definitely serviceable and does enough to facilitate the gameplay, but you won't be remembering Split Fiction for its narrative. The comparison between the idea-stealing machine and real-world AI is cute if not a bit on the nose, but more importantly for a game with so many ideas, it's a little disappointing that the narrative itself didn't quite have many twists that will surprise you. Zoe and Mio each have their own personal arcs through confronting their stories, and while they aren't bad at all, they lacked a bit of spice to make them memorable. Zoe's arc in particular I thought had immense potential when we confront the skeletons in her closet, but the way they wrapped it up left me a bit wanting. However, for how much the story wasn't as good as the rest of the game, Hazelight Studios absolutely nailed the last level and ending. No spoilers here, but the last 30 minutes or so were a 10 out of 10 for me. So creative, so engrossing, and nothing like I've seen before in other games. I really enjoyed It Takes Two, but my main gripe with that game was how the last quarter or so didn't really have a climactic moment. It was supposed to represent the happiness and beauty of a fixed marriage, but I thought there was an X-Factor sequence missing to really bring the experience home. It looks like Hazelight Studios might have thought so too, because they went absolutely crazy with the end of Split Fiction in the best way possible. That alone puts it above It Takes Two in my books. So much of the game is a collage of neat ideas without much throughline, but they really pulled off a fitting, fantastic conclusion. If it wasn't obvious, I had a blast with Split Fiction. It's not perfect, the writing and vibes have a bit of corniness, the pacing is a bit off at times, and it's not a particularly challenging game, but it recognizes play and what it means to have fun in ways that will cheer up the gloomiest of gamers. It's a special experience that certainly deserves a playthrough with a friend or loved one, and for me is easily a Game of the Year contender for 2025.